What a night. What a night. What a night. Tyler Greer here for another No Cat Space post-game show after 2 games that have brought us to we have necessary dialogue that we must be having now. We have post-game clips from Becky Hammon. We have 2 games to talk about that went down that were physical and tough throughout. We got some stuff to talk about. But first, let me talk to you about home field. Did you know what this shirt right here? Look at this. Top Dog, the OG mascot here. Such a comfortable shirt. And you can get your first shirt 15% off at the link in the description below. Great stuff. Genuine. We're going to start off with the Sun and the Lynx. But let me tell you that the dialogue about the Liberty and Aces is on deck. I promise you it's coming. I have messages from both Andrew. I have messages from Andrew and Shawnee, who Andrew is out getting married. I guess he can miss. I guess. Yeah.
Flourishing in matrimony.
Yeah, I guess. I'd rather flourish in hate. So let's get into first this game of the Lynx versus the Sun. I mean, it kind of to me comes down to, oh hey, y'all remember how to shoot a 3-pointer? Like, you know, that opened up so much stuff for them tonight. I mean, Nafisa Collier, this is not
by far
9 points.
Yes,
9 points. And I remember we were talking the last one where it was like, hey, Dewana Bonner struggled. This is the game you need to. Wait, I'm sorry, Andrew. I love my wife, but I also love hate. That's good enough for me. But look, you want to talk about feeling like you missed an opportunity. You're on the road and you hold Nafisa Collier to 9 points and you don't win that game. That's gotta hurt, man. Like there's no other way around it. Like that's a game that it feels like you have to win, and they let it slip through their fingers. A 77-70 loss here. I guess just general thoughts on this game. Any of your takeaways, and maybe was it something that you saw with Fee where you know it seemed different or anything?
No, I thought she missed a lot of shots that she typically makes. No like super terrible misses or any uncharacteristic shots. They just kind of weren't going in, you know, and that happens. But what I love obviously about her game is that she's not a one-dimensional player, and she made several plays tonight that back up her case for being the DPOY this year, right? Yep. So you know, Minnesota held Connecticut to 30 points in the first half, and then they scored 40 in the second half. Like that's a very good recipe if you are the Minnesota Lynx. Atlanta Smith finding her range from 3.
Yes.
Bridget Carlton just kind of doing what we expect
like whatever's needed. Like you know, like,
and then I mean, hey, Courtney Williams.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
like
Courtney Williams. Where, you know, like she's had games where she struggled this year, but it's very rarely in like back-to-back games, you know? And so to see, you know, what they did on Sunday, and I'm sure she wasn't pleased with her performance, and the response tonight was exactly what Minnesota needed. And once they got the lead, they never gave it up. So we're all tied heading back to Uncasville.
Oh Lord.
And I'm excited for Friday.
Yeah, I'm also very excited. This series is very fun to me. Like it is like you gotta like really love basketball to get into this series, you know, like in the most like complimentary way. But like this is a game where now, you know, like Marina isn't as hot as in previous games, and it's a 7-point difference to me. Like, you know, like those moments where Marina kind of opens things up, like it wasn't her best game. And I think that's where some of that kind of comes in. Also, Bree Jones is 14 minutes and 3 shots within those minutes. Like, so you're not.
They haven't found a way to get her going.
No, they haven't. And I think that's something like could easily tip a scale, you know, like because it's very like it's very hard. The Lynx have some, well, they don't have like major size in any way that can like go against just like a dominant big. They have taller players that can defend, but not in the way that Bree Jones likes to play, where you're banging down low. That's not what the Lynx do. That's not what they excel at on the defensive end. But yeah, I mean, like it's not like the Lynx played some incredible game or anything. But frankly, I'd be really surprised if we see an incredible game from either of these teams at any point throughout this season, because that is just like the each team is trying to avoid that in a way and like are purposely trying to muck it up. But it did just seem like a lot of the times that they were able to get back into those championship habits that we've continued to talk about. Yeah. The ball moves smoother today. This series is going to be tight the entire time. And I think being able to pick up one of these games at home, like obviously you don't want to split the series, but there has been struggles for a long, like I think it was a 7-game losing streak to Connecticut at home. And just, I think kind of be able to get that weight off the shoulders is very beneficial as well. So I like what I saw.
Minnesota's +3 on threes tonight. That's really,
a 7-point win, I'll do it. Like
they had almost identical assists. 40 rebounds apiece.
Yep.
It's just a couple of threes went their way tonight, and a couple didn't go the way of Connecticut's tonight. It's just kind of
and I think that's how these series are going to go.
Every single game that they played this season, this is probably the largest margin of any game that they played.
I think it is actually. Yeah, I think every game's been within 5.
Right. So yeah, like you said, no one's going to probably play like the prettiest, most perfect game to advance in this series, but there are no style points in the playoffs.
Yeah, right. 100%. It doesn't matter. Picked up the win.
Yeah.
That's what matters. Not to discredit this game by any means.
No, it was actually really, really
It was a very, very fun game. Andrew, to your point, Hines Allen, massive today. That is, you brought her in to do what she did tonight, and that is, see, look at Andrew even doing the show, beat them at their own game. Like that's what they did. Yeah. I don't want to rush through this game, but we have a lot to cover in the Aces and Liberty. Do you have any other general thoughts about Lynx first son?
Cheryl's pretty pissed about the officiating tonight.
Yes.
We tweeted during the game about the Marina Mabry and
it was heat. Like they were beefing out there.
Irish kind of Brian Mabry, so that was really cool. We're talking about players who have been playing in highly contested games for the better part of a decade.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? Like when you get to this level, no one is a secret. You know what I mean? You've been watching these, you've been playing against these women since you were a girl. You know what I mean? So it's super cool to see. I think it's going to continue to happen, but it's super cool to see it happen full circle in a WNBA semifinal. And Courtney and Marina were chatting a ton. Marina and Kayla gave each other a couple of shots. Fee's just woken up this year. She's just on a different.
Because even in the quote we posted from our Azra interview, she's like, "Yeah, she's chill." Like, so that was weird seeing that. Hey, the beast has been awoken. The beast has been awoken. Like she's here. But yeah, no, this series, I think it's just going to continue to be very chippy, quote unquote, but also like just very fun and physical. And they are going to go to war every single night. And I think it'll go to 5. And I can't wait. That game 5 is going to be crazy. That game might end like 25-20. And like I'd be there for the entire time.
I think we did justice. Let's go.
Let's have discourse. I want to begin here with the 2 messages that I received that I am needed to tell from both Andrew and Shawnee. I'm going to start with Shawnee's. She posted this. It is the LeBron. No team in NBA Finals history has come back from trailing 3-1. This is the energy that she is on, and she said, "There's still time to lose," is the message I received. From Andrew, all I received was this. That is his response to Shawnee. But I think the biggest comments that rang through tonight was Becky Hammon's postgame. I am shocked by this. I have the entire clip of the question that really kind of like, whoa. It's about 2 minutes, but I think it's worthwhile to sit here and listen to, so everyone can get the full context here. Give your thoughts in the chat. and then we're gonna dive into this and then the game in its entirety as well. But I want to start here with Becky Hammon because I think it's very interesting. So here is the question.
Becky, I just want to drill down into that a little bit. That timeout in the second quarter, follow the layup, like you said. What are you saying to your team in that moment? And just related to this is a two-time defending championship team. This is a team that obviously knows what it needs to do. Why is it not happening on this way it didn't in either 22 or 23 playoffs?
Well, quite frankly, we haven't had the edge. Well, we found it the last month. I feel like we've gained a lot of ground, but the feel was different from the jump. And this is why three-peating is hard. Let's be real. Like, the whole league has been pissed off for the last 8 months, and my players are in commercials and this and that and being freaking celebrities, and you get distracted. That's why it's hard, because human nature is distracting. And conversely, you think about the Spurs. I do all the time, the Spurs with the Miami Heat. They lose a absolute heartbreaker in Miami off a basic thing, offensive rebound, kick out three. They should have walked away with the title that year. They lost it that year. The next year they came back. They came back with so much drive, so much discipline, so much focus that there was no way somebody would beat them in 2014. I mean, that ball was popping, but they took a huge loss. Liberty took a huge loss last year. And I liken it to that a little bit, where they had it, they felt like they had it, and we walked away with it. I did think we were the better team, but we were dealt a really freaking tough hand last year in the finals, losing Chelsea and Kia. So I'm sure they feel like something was stolen a little bit. At the end of the day, in 2 years, we've won here one time, Game 4. Other than that, they've kicked our ass.
Couple more.
Hello?
Where do we even start? I might need you to segment it out.
Let's break this. We can break this down. We could even bring it back up to the stage and pause if we'd like. Now that we've listened to it all the way through, so let's kind of get through the actual question portion here. So we'll pause as we go and just break this down as we listen.
Like you said, related to this is a two-time defending championship.
Let's get to the answer.
Why it didn't in either 22 or 23.
Well, quite frankly, we haven't had the edge. Well, we found it the last month. I feel like we've gained a lot of ground, but the feel was different from the jump. And this is why three-peating is hard. Let's be real. Like, the whole league has been pissed off for the last 8 months, and my players are in commercials and this and that and being freaking celebrities, and you get distracted.
Pause. Huh?
Yeah, I think that's that's a tough look, because they've been playing basketball for 5 months at this point.
Hello.
So wouldn't the time to, if that was your observation about this team, wouldn't 3 or 4 months ago
This should have been addressed.
Yeah.
It should have, and let's just be transparent. Let's have the full dialogue. And there's plenty to talk about from in game 2 when it comes to having the dialogue. There's only a couple of players that have been in commercials.
Right.
You're not talking about Kia Stokes here.
Greek teeth, the Greek teeth commercial, the CarMax commercials, the Nike commercials. Who are you? Let's.
Is it Skims? Is it Kelsey Plum? Is it
yeah?
This is throwing not just the team under the bus, but specifically your starters, and more importantly,
your 2 best players,
the unanimous MVP and Kelsey Plum, who in game 1, was the player. And
Sid Colson.
Is it Sid Colson? Maybe it is Sid Colson. She was maybe it is Sid Colson. She said, "Get your ass off Twitter." But this is it's crazy to me, because not only is this kind of wild to say in the just in general, but the series isn't over. this is like we just lost the series and this is why type of quote. Y'all still got 2 games at home potentially. And you're already.
You don't want to play them. Let us know if you want to be a walkover.
Look, we'll schedule our post game accordingly. Like there is no accountability taken at all, and to me that is and here's the thing. I think to a point you can like as a coach that has now won back-to-back titles, as a team that has won titles, you can hold yourself to a standard like this. But the manner in which he's going about it has been insane. Like this is like it did not come off good at all. And to Andrew's point in the chat, Asia has been
bring it up, put it on screen.
Has been asking for and right not like it's a bad thing, but like rightfully so. Like, where's the shoe? Where's like all these different things that have kind of come and gone.
I don't know that it's been Asia lobbying for it as much.
True. This is fair. So like it's, but also
yeah,
you know, but you understand
that it is a systemic issue when your unanimous MVP is fighting for any kind of you know what I mean. But yeah, I want to be careful in saying that she's the one that.
That's 100%. Yeah, that's definitely fair. So like, but it's so. Obviously, we don't know who exactly she wants that directed at. Like, maybe it's the whole team. Maybe it's one person. Like, we don't know. But there's no way to me that can work out in your favor as a coach that is trying to inspire the team to come back. Like, that is this doesn't feel like how you do it. But that came off as just wicked to me that you're now doing this. And I certainly think like. I mean, there's only so many players.
I don't know, but like, I just feel like heavy is the head that wears the crown. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
I want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear that. Like, and if I was an Aces fan, I especially don't want to hear that because that hasn't been the message all season long.
Mm-hmm.
The message all season long is that they pretty much expected to be right back here.
Yep.
Right, and they were just kind of waiting for things to start clicking, and like she said, she thought that. For the last month or so, they have had the edge.
Mm-hmm. Which I agree with. Like, I thought like some of those fever games that they had, like that was like, oh, damn. Okay. Maybe the switch, the championship switch that Andrew talked about, like maybe it had flipped. Like it felt like that towards the end of the regular season. And obviously that hasn't happened. Hold on. Right here.
I mean, listen, from the outside looking in, it also feels like a lot of this is kind of like bound to start crumbling because Becky's just kind of been flagrant all season long.
We've talked about it prior with like whether it be DPOY or MVP, like
De'Erica, utmost care or whatever.
Yeah, obvious. Yeah, most importantly over the top care. Like it's.
The Kurt Miller versus Teaspoon comments and just the difference in that the entire tone, right? Chickens are coming on the roofs.
It's because I don't think it's that Asia. My guess, if I was to pick a player, like which is all just speculation, 100% just speculation, but KP kind of seems like the one. She's obviously been in commercials with different people. Like, like she's been in that. Like, I can't imagine you're talking about the unanimous MVP in this context here. Like when it comes to not performing, my guess is Kelsey Plum. It's a complete guess, but let's go back and hear some of the rest of this clip.
Even if it's just a shitty time to be doing that,
100%. Like
there's fan video of tonight and some of the timeouts they were taking, and it looked to me like she was getting in the grill of Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young at times, especially for giving up the layups.
Yep.
Like Kayla Thornton,
which we're definitely gonna get into that for the on the court stuff. Like it's, I'm gonna see if I can find that video. I know you had. Sent it because I think that's also some here we go. And that was I'm sorry, the music in the background is comedy though. That was from Mr. Acosta 89 on Twitter that I saw that post from. But it was a lot of it's been kind of building, and I don't even know if necessarily we realized it was building, but like today feels like if there was a moment, if this team doesn't stay together, it feels like today might have been the moment. And we'll have to see how that plays out. But
they can use a book club right about now.
Hey, hello. We can let's kind of get into more of the quote as well, because I think there's some interesting parts here. Specifically,
that's why it's hard,
with
because
the
human
comparison to
nature
Spurs and everything
is distracting. And conversely, you think about the Spurs. I do all the time. The Spurs with the Miami Heat, they lose a absolute heartbreaker in Miami off a basic thing: offensive rebound, kick out three. They should have walked away with the title that year. They lost it that year. The next year they came back. They came back with so much drive, so much discipline, so much focus that there was no way somebody would beat them in 2014. I mean, that ball was popping, but they took a huge loss. Liberty took a huge loss last year. And I liken it to that a little bit, where they had it, they felt like they had it, and we walked away with it. I did think
Pause, because at no point did the Liberty have it last year. They lost the series 3-1.
Yeah, that's an assumption from the injuries, like that, because when it comes to the play, like that's my take, is that she's talking about the injuries, but like I don't know, because to me, in the way that I feel, it's been about the creating the dynasty.
Yeah, so like, why
have you not been locked in
now?
Yes, this isn't some like now like Becky's on the revenge tour with New York. Like how have we like how have we switched from like the importance and the focus that we've heard all season about we want to be the dynasty, the modern dynasty that we haven't seen in decades. Like this is that's what I just can't comprehend. It just feels like such a defeated like quote. Like it's done. Like I said, like everything about this, like parts of it I just wouldn't say regardless, and then other parts just sound like you've already lost a series.
Yeah.
Like if you are the dynasty, like you are the presumable dynasty on deck. You have like on any night and most nights the best player in the world. You have Olympians. You have experience. There is nothing you like. Come on. At no point, if there is not a 3 in the Liberty's win column, there should not be a single defeatist quote said from the Aces. That makes no sense to me. Like I can't comprehend that. And I understand the comparison, and I think it's a fair comparison, but that's got to come after y'all lose if that's happening. Like, so I do think, like, I understand where she's coming from with that. I don't have a problem with the quote of that part of the quote from here. It's just, that's got to be an end of season review. That's a post game after, like, I don't like it at all. I don't like any part about it.
I don't like it at all. And then I also, like, if we can kind of get to the game, what we saw tonight, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's dive into that. I think it's really all that was left from that.
Right? Mm-hmm. They put Kia on the bench and put Alicia Clark back in the starting lineup. Mm-hmm. And she started out the game really well for them. Yeah. And then Breanna Stewart went super playmaker.
Bro, because that was their decision. They took Sabrina. They had Jackie guarding Sabrina the full way, and they said, Stewie, go ahead. And like Stewie did it. She was facilitating. Like, what did she end the game with? 8 assists. Like, and I think 5 of those were first half, if I'm not mistaken. So like early on, especially, she was dealing. Like, because the shot wasn't like 15 points, 5 of 15 for Stewie, so it really wasn't a scoring night for her. but the impact was still felt on the defensive end and through the playmaking that she had, to your point.
And even JJ, I know a lot was made tonight at the beginning of the game about her impact on the Liberty's record when she has the double-double. And she didn't quite reach that tonight, but just in general, it's just like when she's engaged and playing to her strengths and also engaged defensively and making things tough for Asia. Or, I mean, I don't even know if things were tough. I don't even know truly what was like happening with Asia because
we can get into that because
it didn't even take a JJ double-double. She was close, but this was still like I think they had 6 or 7 lead changes early on in the game. But once New York got like a control of the lead, it never really felt like Vegas was like got back in it after that. Yeah.
Another player to obviously highlight is Breanna tonight, who she's here. Like it's happening right before our eyes. Like it's all happening. I think I just heard Andrew through my window actually yelling. But no, like the last like 2 minutes especially. Like it was the playmaking.
The first quarter, honestly.
Yeah, like I'm like obviously she has improved throughout this season, like and that has been very, very easy to see. But man, like that fourth quarter, I forget, I don't remember exactly what point it was in the fourth, but there was a point where I kind of sat back for a second and was like, she's here. Like that felt like the moment for me where I was like, this is the level up. I love this comment here. Breanna will not let them lose this game. And I fully like that is I love that comment because I don't know how often we've been able to say that about Breanna.
Never.
Like she's certainly gone on like hot streaks in like the third quarter or the second quarter to help propel them to wins. But when it comes to not letting them lose this game, she took over in the fourth quarter. And that was a level up that I don't think I had seen previously from her. And that's when like I said, the improvement generally with her game has not been hard to spot this season. But when it comes to having like that moment where like if she continues this play, like this feels like the moment for me. This fourth quarter will be like, I think that's when the Liberty won the championship. Like honestly, like if this is what she's doing, like that is what is here. Other Liberty players jumping down from your attic like Steve. Love this. Sloot.
Sloot and Kayla Thornton tonight.
Yes, off the bench.
Incredible in the first half.
Yes.
Incredible in the first half because there was a point where Sloot was doing her thing and was Chelsea hidden on the other side at the time? Like they were kind of like trading that.
Yes, yeah. It was both guards. It was early on in the game. It was when Sloot had just checked in. She had like a quick 5, I think is what it was, because she had like kind of the spin layup and then the reverse layup, and Chelsea was on the other side. That was still when she was hot early on in this game. You know, like yeah, because Chelsea started the game off well too. And kind of petered out a little bit, but I mean, still 14-7. Like that's it. You take that. That's what you need from Chelsea. You don't really need much more from her right now. When Asia is, are we ready?
Let's talk about it. Let's chat.
Look, Asia Wilson. Here's the thing. She had 24, 7, and 4 on 11 of 18. That is a hell of a game. Statistically. But something is missing. Yeah. And I don't know. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but in these first 2 games, I haven't felt the impact, the imprint, the fingerprint on the game of a unanimous MVP. And I'll tell you exactly what my eyes just shot to was 0 blocks. And because I feel like there were several times where on the defensive side, even while being on Jonquel, whether it was kind of a late rotation or getting in the pick and roll with the different guards for New York, the energy is low, and I don't even know if that's an Asia problem. It might just be it's finally caught up, like just what's being asked of her and everything, and it feels to me like the moments that you think of across the season of greatness where we just saw pure dominance from Asia and the energy, and you can tell in the game when you're watching it, the energy shifts when Asia Wilson has taken over. And even though she's still putting up solid stats, and just it's the standard that has been set by Asia to have an impact on the game. And that could be touches. I'm not even necessarily saying that is her fault. I don't know exactly what the causation is here. But something is missing for me from these first 2 games when it comes to her being Asia Wilson. Like, the stats are there, but something's missing.
Yeah. What's missing to me is that she shot 8 free throws between both games.
Maybe that's it. Just the attacking. Like, maybe it's just like the mentality. And Nathan,
it's also the mentality, but I also have to credit the New York defense.
100%, because the doubles were flying. Jonquel was making it tough.
Like, 100%.
100%.
Timing of the doubles. It's the fact that there was one play where she passed out of the double and hit somebody for 3. I forget. But just generally speaking, the timing of New York's doubles are so effective that a dimension of Asia's game that we don't often talk about, because we talk so much about how much she puts the ball in the hoop, is that playmaking for others isn't necessarily.
It's not a strength. I wouldn't consider it a strength. I don't think she's bad. I just don't think it's a strength.
Right.
Like,
and so in a series like this, where you've got to be able to move it quickly off that double, they aren't doing it routinely, and she isn't getting the whistle that she has grown accustomed to, and I can't even say that New York is fouling and she's not getting the call.
I don't feel like this.
Actually, they're really playing good defense right now.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's been anything like egregious like that. Like I think there were some random calls, generally speaking, but like when it comes to a consistent bad whistle for Asia in this series, I don't think that's the case. I do think, to your point, both teams honestly have tried to force both their star players, Stewie and Asia, into being facilitators, and Stewie was able to do that tonight, and we saw how they were able to kind of take advantage of that. But Asia just hasn't been able to consistently do that. She had 4 assists on the night. Like I said, like for any other player on any other team, this is an incredible night, and statistically it still is. But with the season that the Aces have had and what they've grown accustomed to when it comes to what they're asking Asia Wilson to do on both sides of the ball, they have to bring. She has to do more, and that might be unfair to Asia. But that is what we're working with at this point, and it hasn't seemed the mentality, like the energy on the court, like when she gets gassed up when she's making the shots and she's yelling and she's amped up, and like that is when it feels like, okay, Asia Wilson has arrived to the game. And like there was maybe like 1 or 2 during this game, but something's off. And then you mix that in with the feeling of something being off with the Becky quotes, and it feels like everyone is just exhausted and tired and ready to go home. Like, honestly, like to be blunt, like it feels like it to me, you know. And hey, put them in, because and here's the thing with the Aces is that we could look back on this next game and maybe the switch flipped, because like and we might look goofy. Like that is a very real possibility with the Aces, because that is what they are able to do. But we haven't seen it. So until I see it, something feels off, because nothing feels like last year's team at all. Like, imagine this team going down with injuries. And
and there's some people talking in the chat about Gustafson, I thought. Did I read that? Yeah.
Oh, yes, right here.
Kamari, yeah. How Kia goes out with a head injury after colliding with JJ, and Megan still can't get in the game.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like I just try it. At some point, like you're down 2-0 now. What do you have to lose? It's not working. And like I would presumably like to think now that with Kia more than likely being out, like you're just probably just gonna be forced into doing it. But it's just, for everything that we have felt has been a plus. Like Becky has been rightfully touted as an incredible coach. Like the what she's been able to do over these past couple of seasons, like that hasn't arrived when it comes into this series. When it comes to A'ja Wilson's dominance that we've seen this season and the standard she set for herself, that hasn't arrived this series. When it comes to the others, like outside of A'ja, KP, and Jackie, looked better today compared to game one.
They shot 50% free.
And Jackie,
but defensively, still
a part of that about Jackie that I want to bring up is Holly Rowe saying that she's injured, but not disclosing the injury, but just giving us all the information about said injury. We just don't know what body part, I guess, that apparently happened. I believe it was during the gold medal game, specifically, is what she said. That was weird. It sounded kind of like an off-the-record conversation that we weren't supposed to be hearing, and then she only left the injury itself off the record. Yeah. But it's not like, we're not accustomed to the WNBA not being transparent with information. You can already kind of go and check that out on the Valkyries expansion draft, how we feel about information being held from us. But that was weird. So we have been, obviously, something has been off about Jackie. Like,
something's been off. But I just like, yes, New York is playing with some like a revenge mindset, but also they're just like, I would be remiss if I didn't say that Sandy is coaching her ass off right now.
And the Liberty are just better.
Sandy is coaching her ass off.
100%.
100%. The switch to Phoebich, putting Phoebich on Plum.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Like, even having the gravitas, I think, like the balls, the cojones to tell Sloot, you're gonna come off the bench.
100%. And it's worked so well.
And to be managing it so well. Sabali does not get in the game today after playing significant minutes in the first game. But like, everybody is, Kennedy Burke got off the bench today. Like, everybody is completely bought into what Sandy is preaching right now.
Yeah.
And if you would have told me that a year ago today,
man, like, imagine, like, telling me that this series is the way it is right now. Like, if you were like, okay, one coach is gonna be talking crazy in the post game, and a star player wasn't going to be producing, like, stars weren't going to be producing in the way they were, and you said, okay, this is a Liberty Aces series, take your guess, I wouldn't pick the Aces. So like, it's a total flip, and like, that's why kind of I do like Becky's comment comparing it to the Miami Spurs series, and that it's just not the right time to say that, but I understand where she's coming from with that, where the mentality has flipped for New York, where they have just decided to become undeniable, and like right now, like they're the better team. Like, it feels like they have something for everything the Aces can throw at them. And it's not, frankly, the Aces don't have much to throw at them when it comes to changing things. Like, Meg Gustafson is your only pivot. That's all you have.
I think that brings up another point, and obviously, we're gonna do like a post-mortem on the season when it's all over, and talk about what teams did right, didn't do correctly, and stuff like that. But from the very beginning, our sister in Hoop, Shani, has been saying it as an Aces fan, is like, she hated the bench for the Las Vegas Aces. And while every other team, well, almost every other team, especially contenders, let's say, were getting better and adding pieces, no shade, no tea, they were adding Tiff Hayes.
Yeah. Who has been good, but when it comes to, but like, you're taking players out of retirement in order to do this. And now, like, the Liberty have the luxury of not playing Sabali. That is not something that the Aces have. Like, to be able to even like pit, like to play the chess and to do this, like, they don't even have that luxury for Becky, really. But the one option she does have, she hasn't even taken that. So like, I don't even know if she would want to do that, honestly, at this point. So it's almost disappointed but not surprised in a way, because like, these problems, it felt like they overcame these exact same problems last year. But the starters were playing so well that it didn't matter in the long run. And then you pull through in that last game. This year, the starters haven't played as well. Your core four have not played as well. A'ja, doing A'ja, but like, everyone else hasn't done that. And it's caused A'ja to have to play better in this way, and to rack up the stats and production that she's had. Like, it's now the problems have come to light. I think it just came a little bit later. And Joe, to your point as well, the defense this year has just been worse. Like it's just outside of Asia Wilson, it's been a decline this season.
Yeah, totally.
Like Asia Wilson is the only person in this organization who leveled up. That's it. And now that Asia has, like I said, I want to make it clear, like the standards for Asia Wilson. We're talking Asia Wilson standards here. Has taken a bit of a back foot here in this series. Now what? What are you gonna do about it? You're gonna let them come into your house
on a Friday night?
On a Friday night in Vegas? What are you prepared to do about it? Because if they sweep here, it's gonna get wicked. Like it's gonna get wicked. I don't know. Like I don't know what the future holds for Las Vegas. Like everything just feels bad. Vibes are bad. It across the board, no one feels like there's not one person I can point to right now and be like, "Oh, you're having a good
like
time."
a girls' trip to Miami right now.
Not Miami.
That's not good. It's feeling like a girls' trip in Miami right now. And if you know, you know.
The group chat broke up, man.
Someone
didn't bring their money, man. But yeah, I'm like it. I wouldn't be surprised if this team looks a lot different. Like,
yeah, I mean, Nathan. Listen, like I said earlier, chickens are coming home to roost. There's been a series of unfortunate events.
It's felt like a crescendo.
Las Vegas Aces are the common denominator in every single situation. So. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, look, I for one am happy that at least it seems this way that like the Houston Comets and their dynastic run is going to be one of one. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, like I said, at any point, the Aces, I do believe that they have the championship like switch, but the power just might be out.
Yeah. And no team in WNBA history, right, has come back from being down 2-0. I
think so.
In a best of 5, I believe that's true. So, like history, history is meant to be broken.
Nothing's on their side.
Nothing's on their side for sure.
Yeah.
But nothing's on their side but the unanimous MVP.
This is true. And sometimes that might just do it. And so I'm a situation to monitor at this point. I think that's all I got. Is your heart and mind clear?
Crystal.
Okay. Well, folks, that's going to do it for tonight's No Cap Space post-game show. We're going to be back on Friday, maybe with Lord knows what will happen by then with more media availabilities and whatnot. But be on the lookout for everything we got dropping this week. I know we have a mid-major preview courtesy of Andrew. He left us with one wedding gift. So we're going to be dropping that this week. We have Ayoka Lee. It was a really, really fun interview. That'll be dropping probably Thursday, I believe. And then we're back here on Friday for a post game. And we got, I know we got Cheyenne Sellers on deck coming up. And we got a real special interview that we're supposed to be filming on Thursday that I'm not going to tell you about yet. But let me tell you right now, it's a big time player at a big time program. I'm just going to leave it at that for now until it happens. I don't want to. That's it. So make sure y'all check out everything down below in the description. It's completely free to consume all No Cap Space content. Subscribe, get on the Substack, and go get your 15% off your first order at Home Field and get really nice, comfortable shirts like this. We will see y'all on Friday.